Some years ago, I started to notice one thing. Many of the media people I came across were women, and many of them were single. I started to wonder what was the relationship between single women and creative work. My book takes Shanghai as its field, and my research tries to understand how this particular group of precariat deals with multiple demands of singlehood and creative work. My central question is how to take care of oneself in the midst of everyday precarity.
This edited volume, entitled Discourses of Disease, Writing Illness, the Mind and the Body in Modern China, was published in 2016 simultaneously in Europe and America. In this book, I include 9 chapters covering different kinds of disease, everything from psychological problem to AIDS, and disciplinary across history, film, literature, and gender studies. And my own chapters is about breast cancer by 2 female writers.
I would like to introduce my book to you. My book is about the Precious Blood Sisters in Hong Kong from the late 19th century to 1970s. The Precious Blood Sisters were all Chinese, and they have remained Chinese, and that was unique in the Catholic Church in Hong Kong. The Catholic sisters contributed to the education, social welfare for Hong Kong people, and they were always remembered by the Hong Kong people for the education they give to Chinese women here in Hong Kong. They surely were marvelous women contributing to the many successes of the younger women.
My new book is called Law and Culture Studies, a critical rearticulation of human rights. This is a culmination of over a decade of my thinking, in which I want to put 2 fields together in dialogue: culture studies on the one hand, law on the other. And one of the emphases that I put in the book is really on gender and race. These are 2 areas of my research that have been very long-standing. I hope it's going to be useful for a variety of readers.
My book challenges the conventional assumption that women had little or nothing to do with the study of classics and history, which was traditionally perceived as monopolized by men. Through overviews and case studies, I discuss Chinese women as scholars, transmitters of the classics, and passionate educators of their offspring in the pre-modern era. My book highlights women's objectivity in their cultural and scholarly pursuits. Thank you.
This book is a Chinese edition of Shanghai Lala, Female Tongzhi Communities and Politics in Urban China. It is an ethnographic study of queer women in China during 2005 and 11. This book, Sexuality in Hong Kong, is co-edited by Joseph Cho, Franco Lai, and me. It includes 22 articles by various gender studies scholars and activists in Hong Kong on issues of gender and sexuality in the past 20 years.
Masculine Compromise is a book we dedicated to rural to urban migrants in China. Drawing on the stories of 266 migrants in South China, we examine the effect of rural to urban migration on family and gender relationships, with a focus on changes in men and masculinities. We show how migration has forced the migrant men to renegotiate their roles as lovers, husbands, fathers, and sons. We also review how migrant men make masculine compromises in their conjugal and intergenerational relations.
So the book is Transgender, Translation, Translingual Studies. People ask me, why should I be interested in writing about dialogues between cisgender and transgender people? And obviously the other question is, why should you be interested in reading it? My simple answer is that we are all between cisgender and transgender. We are all trans.
This book is called 打開男性, in English, Unwinding Manhood and Masculinities. It's a collection of 12 stories which cover men in different institutional settings, including family, intimate relationships, sports, and workplace. So there are stories about male kindergarten teachers, male sex workers, and also intimate stories of heterosexual men and non-heterosexual men. So the purpose is to look at whether dominant definitions of masculinity has been reproduced or challenged.